guns and bring your friends. It's fun to lose and to pretend she's overboard and self-assured. Oh no, I know a dirty word. Hello.
Peter said Ethan Nordine was the undisputed leader of the group that day as they tried to prevent the peaceful transfer of power.
And FBI agents arrested Proud Boys former national chairman Enrique Tarrio at this home in Miami. By 2 this afternoon, he was in federal court.
Here we are now, entertain us. I feel stupid and contagious. Here we are now, entertain us. I feel stupid and contagious. Here we are now, entertain us.
I need to get a new set of headphone cables. It like goes in and out. And actually, you know who needs a good like microphone? Because I could hear all the kids stuff playing.
Oh, you can?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay.
It's okay.
Do you want me to relocate? Is it really bad? Hold on. Actually,
No,
I know
it's
exactly
not-
what I can do.
It's not that bad. You can throw
I'm
your
gonna I can lower
AirPods.
the volume. They're not gonna. It'll be okay. This is the kind of stuff you tell me before, Enrique. This is
I
called
didn't
an
hear it
ambush.
because the music was playing, so I didn't hear it.
Sabotage.
We need to get you that roadcaster needs to start working.
Yeah, I just need to get the thing. You keep telling me what I need to get, and then I don't write it down, and then I forget to ask because I'm retarded, and that's just
I'm gonna send you the link.
okay.
You could go to Best Buy; they have them in stock. All right.
Whoa, buddy! Retard moment.
Dinner's in.
No, you're not a Kino. That's a shout out to Kino Casino.
Oh, okay, all right. So that's part of the show today, because I'm not understanding. There's so many like stupid beefs around, and it's so
some of them are more
retarded.
stupid. Some of them are not so stupid. Some of them, a lot of them that spun off from it are stupid, but the root of it is definitely not stupid.
No, I get it. It's just ridiculous at that point because, you know, and I told Chrissy this morning. I'm like, it's incredible the amount of people that have, and again, like you said, it's not every situation, but most situations.
Yeah.
It's incredible how much people have like this undying loyalty to people on the internet that they've never met.
I know.
That like, no matter what they say, they're 100% right. That they're willing to go to bat and argue with other people on the internet with. And that person has never interacted with these people, right? It's just amazing to me, the amount of people that do that. And like, if I say something against somebody, like example, we're about to go into the Thomas Massie stuff. Like, if I say something pro Massie, the crowd goes wild. If I say something anti Massie, the crowd goes wild.
Yeah.
He's a politician. And what I'm going to discuss isn't an endorsement of Massie. I'm talking numbers. And they're just not looking good. But good morning. Welcome to the NewsBrief. Today's May 11th. It's 12:06 p.m. in the afternoon. I'm joined by my amazing co-host, Kim Coulter, which was on the Simpcast yesterday with Chrissy Mayer.
Yeah.
And I shared it.
We're going to talk about that for sure.
Yeah. and I got a shit ton of notifications out of it. But yeah, how you doing today, Kim?
I'm tired.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I'm already, like, I'm very pregnant, so, like, sometimes sleep is just harder to come by, but I didn't go to bed last night until like 3 or 4 in the morning.
That's my every night, and I usually up like pretty early, even though I go to sleep late.
Mhm.
And Patty had joined us. Patty, let yourself in when you can. Let me take this news block off the bottom. Yeah, I slept like a bear yesterday, though. I slept till like 2:00 in the afternoon. It's like the first time I do that in like fucking years. But I just hibernated all day. Oh no, Patty is on a guest link, so let me bring him on. What's up, Patty?
Oh, nothing. Didn't mean to interrupt. Keep it going. Keep it going.
Do you feel better today?
Feel better than when?
I don't know. Like you were sick for
Are
a
you
while.
less dead?
Yeah, I'm less
dying?
dead. Less dead every day. No, I think I'm back to about 90% right now. So yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Thanks.
Unfortunately, we need to keep you at 90. 100% Patty is not a Patty you want to deal with.
That you don't want that. You don't want that. Kim doesn't want that. The American people don't want that.
So you're gonna love today's show because it's all about people. I think
Yeah,
the only thing that we have that's not about people is Thomas Massie, which is what we're going to start on now.
Love me some Thomas Massie.
Yeah. So let's start with the story. So just a little bit of background for those that don't know, and usually our guests are our viewers are very informed. Obviously, they're on Twitter and they're scrolling all day, and I see some of them in the comments. Thomas Massie, the Kentucky primary is May 19th, which is not, I believe, not this Tuesday, next Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. Next Tuesday is the primary for Kentucky. Thomas Massie's race and seat is probably like the biggest, one of the biggest bellwethers for for this election season. Thomas Massie has positioned himself as a big adversary for Donald Trump's administration and sometimes the president himself.
Real conservative.
So, yeah. Well, look, I'd say
that's what he is.
He's real libertarian.
He's a Ron Paul conservative.
He's a Ron Paul conservative, correct.
Donald Trump is not a conservative, and that's why they have a problem right now. He's not a conservative, not even slightly a conservative. Not even in the ballpark, in the zip code.
I beg to differ, but this isn't really too much about Trump, but it is about his power of persuasion. I always fuck up this guy's name, Ed Gallerin. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah, I don't care. We're going to pronounce it winner. Winner is what we're going to pronounce it. Probably he's going to beat Massie, but yeah.
Well, we'll get to that in a second. But Ed Gallerin is a very decorated Navy SEAL, a sailor like you.
So's Jesse Ventura. You think I give a shit? I mean, come on now.
But he's also very awkward, and a little bit cringy. Will he be a good politician? I don't know. But Trump seems to think so. Trump has traveled all the way to Kentucky to hold a rally. And I think most people that are voting here and the polling data, let me give you insight on the polling. There hasn't been many public polls about this, but we've heard through the grapevine on private polling, Ed Gallerin is not doing good. There was a poll conducted recently, public poll, that shows that number is a little bit more staggering than Ed Gallerin and probably Donald Trump would like. The gap is pretty, and this is Newsmax reporting it. I don't know why I always have this little screen now. So here goes. Representative Thomas Massie, Republican of Kentucky, heads into the May 19th Republican primary in Kentucky's 4th congressional district favored over Trump-backed challenger Ed Gallarain in both public polling and prediction markets. Now, prediction markets usually sway very libertarian. You know, you got Dan Bilzerian, which is also doing pretty well in predictive markets, but in reality, and I want to talk about that at the end because I want to talk about Nick Fuentes and Dan Bilzerian. So I have the actual, tell me if this tab changes over.
Yeah.
Okay. So it basically says all the bullshit that you know. Ed Gallarain is not looking good in these polls. And actually, in a data survey conducted as part of the firm's crowdfunding public polling project, and not sponsored by any campaign, right? Because that's what campaigns do. They do private polling to see where they're at. But this one is not sponsored by any campaign. And it shows Massie leading at a whopping 52.4% against Ed's 47.6%. After undecided voters were asked who they lean towards, right? Polling interviewed 433 likely Republican voters on April 3rd and 4th and April 6th and 7th with an overall margin of error plus or minus 4 percentage points. Subgroup margins are higher. And as you could see, it's pretty staggering. And then another one, a Qantas Insight survey of 438 likely Republican primary voters fielded April 6th and 7th, had Massie at 46.8% and Gallarain at 37.7%, which is a pretty large gap. And look, polling, we've known this. Polling data isn't reality, but we get close to the ballpark in most of these. I think this would be a heavy loss for the president if Thomas Massie were to take this race. He's called the administration, the pedophile, I forgot what it's called, like the pedophile administration or something, the Epstein administration.
Yeah.
For the handling. And, Thomas Massie, I think has spurred out a little bit about the Epstein files a little bit. He's been a little bit over the top with it. That's my opinion. But for the most part, I think that he has, and look, I have friends of mine that are actually working on the Ed campaign and they're door knocking and they're seeing something that they didn't expect, and people are siding with Massie. People that are like, no, it doesn't matter. Don't come knock on this door. So I want to see what you guys think about that. Do you hear me? Wait, why
can't hear you, Kim.
Can't hear you, Kim. Okay, and she's offline. Okay.
So
what do you think about this race, Patty?
Dude, this is crazy because if I had the time to go down to Kentucky, I would knock on doors for Thomas Massie right now. And Massie is the complete polar opposite of everything I believe politically. Of course. But what I do know about Thomas Massie is that he is 100% genuine. And he is he's a real conservative. He is what he says he is. I believe him, and he's shown it during his term that he doesn't give a fuck who, agrees with him or not. He's got a set of principles, and they're not negotiable.
Okay.
There are very few politicians who are that way, and Thomas Massie is that way. Donald Trump doesn't believe in anything except for his own fucking ego and his own bullshit. So he can sway back and forth between one policy and another, but Thomas Massie is not malleable that way. So what I say is that good for Thomas Massie. I respect the fact that he believes what he believes, even if I think most of those things are stupid. But when it comes to the Epstein files, we all know this whole thing is based on the Epstein files, right? Donald Trump doesn't want them out. He wants to redact shit that's got his name in it. He wants to redact shit that's got his friend's name in it. He's telling his supporters to shut the fuck up about this, even though he ran on releasing them. And Thomas Massie is like, no, seriously, I believed you when you said you were going to release this, and I'm going to hold you to it. And now Republicans are like, oh, he's an asshole. He's a rhino.
Let me cut it.
Donald Trump is a rhino.
Let me cut in and give you some. Let me counter you a little bit. So first off, I don't think Patty is the best person to be deciding on who is more conservative than somebody else. I think that you take a snapshot at the president every chance you could, no matter what he does. Although you have given him credit for some things. I think, look, I trust no politician. But I do think that there is some genuineness to Thomas Massie in his fight to release the Epstein files. I don't think it's accurate to say that Trump doesn't want them out. I think Trump wants them out. I think Pam Bondi was part of the reason she was slow. They were on her desk. They weren't on her desk.
President.
They don't exist.
He's the president.
It doesn't matter.
Yes, it does. He's the president. Why did he run if he can't run the country?
Listen, I get it. I get all of that, and that's why he fired
Such
Pam
an
Bondi
excuse.
for it. Yeah. And look, he never said that. Here, Kim, I'll let you back in. How's your audio? Kim, you with us? Okay. Let me.
Kim has passed on.
So. I think that when it comes to Massie, there is some performative thing that he's doing. I do think that he genuinely believes in what he's preaching, but that's not up to us. That's not up to some guy from Boston. It's not up to some guy from Miami.
The people of Kentucky.
It's up to the people of Kentucky. And I see that Kim is stuck on a loop.
No, I had the fucking music was playing again, and I had to log in under the admin login instead of the guest login so that I can turn the damn thing on. I sound like an old crotchety old man.
No, I had to do the same thing last week. That happened last week to me. The same fucking thing. It's
call the cops. Call the cops, Karen. Call the noise ordinance.
I'm gonna call the police.
So,
HOA.
Look, next week on Tuesday, we'll see what the power of the president is as far as these endorsements go. Sometimes they go good for him. Sometimes he doesn't.
If Massie wins, you guys are going to find an excuse for why it had nothing to do with Trump. But if
I'm not.
Wins,
I won't.
You're going to say, "Oh, this is because Trump is so strong." Get the fuck out. I mean, we all know what the bullshit is.
I won't. I will not do that. I think. Look, the president's been hit or miss on his endorsements. He endorsed somebody here in West Palm Beach just recently, and that candidate lost in a blowout.
Right.
You know, and he was expected to win. The polling actually showed him winning, right? And I think that this is going to be. You will hear the scream. Something you're right about. You will hear people yell into the sky. Right? Because Thomas Massie got reelected. And I have a war chest of tweets that I bookmark and I put into a specific folder. And if Thomas Massie wins, nobody knows if he's going to win or not. This poll does show he's going to win. 2 polls already show he's going to win. 2 public polls. There's no public polling data that shows Ed winning this race in Kentucky for the 4th district of Kentucky. I was in prison in Kentucky, so I think if I were had to make a choice, I think Thomas Massie wins this race, just simply because he's very liked in the district. You know,
because he's a real conservative. If you're an actual conservative, you should want him to win this race.
Yeah.
Plus, his opponent years ago was an anti-Trumper. In the first place, and there's documentation on that. So if you're a big time Trumpist, then you should question that guy in the first place. But Massie is what Massie says he is, and that's It's refreshing in Congress. Like, honestly, I can't stand like any of his opinions, but I don't think the guy's a liar, and I'll take that. You know
Look,
what I mean? That's
I
above the
will,
bar.
I will tell you, in the Texas race, in the congressional race, what's the AK guy's name? Fuck.
I don't know.
I drew a blank. Well, look, he might be a proponent, somebody that people are cheering on right now, and he actually might be like somebody that goes against the president a couple times, and will get hate for it because he's a big 2A guy. I think that we've seen. I think
And Trump is not.
we've seen recently that there has been good steps by the DOJ to do some good reform, some good 2A reform, including felons, nonviolent felons getting their gun rights back, right? They funded a project that actually Bill Clinton put in 1995 that's never been funded. It's a Restoration of Rights Act. I think that's what it's called. But for the most part, he's getting that done. So, Kim, do you have anything to add about this Massie thing? No.
No, I don't need to add unnecessary ad lib. You guys
Okay.
already pretty much hit all the points I would.
Tyler came in and he says, let me put this up. Being a past anti-Trumper isn't grounds alone for anything. Just about half of conservatives were anti-Trumpers in the beginning, circa 2015. That's very correct.
I would say even more than that. More than half were anti-Trumpers. I mean,
Well,
in the beginning,
not the
with
voters.
first debate,
Yeah.
No, yeah. I'm talking about the party elders and things of that nature.
Oh yeah, and there's been a drastic change in the culture of conservative politics. Huge,
Yeah.
huge. What was once fringe in 2015 is no longer fringe; it's mainstream.
Yeah, I mean, I give the example all the time when I have conversations like this. If you had told me that a Republican candidate for president or a Republican president would be for trade tariffs, 15 years ago, I would have said that's ridiculous, and you obviously don't know what you're talking about, and I would ignore that person permanently because that's not something that could possibly be. And now look where we are. So, there is no conservative party anymore. The Republican Party doesn't exist as a conservative party because the leader of that party, the president, is not a conservative and doesn't even know what one is. Like I don't believe if you asked Donald Trump who William Buckley is, he would have absolutely no idea how to answer that question. He would not know who he is. I guarantee.
I think you're wrong.
If
there.
nobody coached him, if you just asked him the question on the spur of the moment,
The president has been
fucking clue.
The president has been very politically involved for a long time.
Yeah, you think he knows who Bill Buckley is? Honestly,
Yeah,
you know
I'm
damn well he
I'm
doesn't.
100% sure the president knows.
No, you're 100% full of shit
Yeah,
right now.
no,
You
no,
know
no.
that. I know
So
you have
okay,
to say it,
let's get into the TMZ portion, which is the next two topics. The TMZ portion where we discuss people beefs, which are so fucking complicated. And I said this in the beginning of the show because people have this undying loyalty to fucking people on the internet. No matter what the fuck they say, they back them. In some cases, like if it's somebody you work with and somebody you know in person, like I expect loyalty. I expect those people to be loyal and back their friends. That's what you do in real life. Your friend's wrong. You're at the bar. Your friend's wrong in an argument. You side with your friend, even though you don't fucking believe in that shit, just because, that's your boy. That's what you're supposed to do. So yesterday...
Yeah, but you're supposed to also pull your boy up in private if that's how you're going to handle it publicly.
I agree with you. You go back. Yes, Reno, we see you.
Yeah, after the fact. Yeah.
After the fact, you're like, hey, you're an idiot.
But in the moment, you do.
In the moment, you're like, yeah, bro, the fucking sky is red. And like you try to pull up.
Okay, so I
statistics.
do think that in this circumstance, it doesn't it's not betrayal to your friend to point out that getting people getting people's channels flagged is like, especially amongst us streamers, it's like the universally recognized no-go zone. Like, you don't come after people's livelihood, you don't come after their ability to host, especially because we are the free speech corner of the internet. We are the, like, that's why, you know, like, Enrique doesn't boot me off when I go off acting like a fool, throwing Romans and making like, you know, nigger jokes, you know. Like, it's because we're free speech. And when you claim to be a free speech person and somebody is getting ruthless with the flagging or even just the endorsement of the flagging, it's not unfair to say to out loud, like, hey, like, that's definitely not what
Yeah.
we stand for. And I don't think that that's a betrayal to the friendship. I don't think that that's putting your friend down.
Yeah.
But
So Kim, what exactly are you? I know that you're speaking in general terms, but what exactly are you talking about? Let's start there with where did
Okay.
all of this come from, and who let's start with this. Who are the parties involved in all of this?
Well, initially, it started with the Quartering and Kino Casino. Shout out to my boys. Anyway, Kino Casino was covering the Quartering drama, and the Quartering was pissed about it, even though the Quartering makes a lot of content about online drama. And he's just kind of like, it's obvious this dude has an alcohol problem. He's admitted to taking pharmaceuticals that really fuck with your brain, particularly when they're mixed with alcohol. He makes uncouth comments and has been exposed for making uncouth comments. But regardless of all of that side stuff, I'm trying to stay on topic, but there's so many little things. The Quartering basically was like, I'm gonna go scorched earth and get these people deplatformed, get their channels taken away.
And there was a tweet about it, correct? Like he tweeted
I'm
and
sorry?
said that he's going to disconnect.
With like the Elmo fire meme, and was like, well, I might as well because it already blah blah blah. But it was already exposed in through DMs that he was saying, and this is a loose paraphrase, but he did specifically call this person his non-Pajit YouTube rep. He said he had the power to get this channel removed because he's a big name on YouTube, and he can hit up his non-Pajit YouTube rep and get their channel done. And guess what? The channel got fucking taken away the next day. So here's the thing. Even in a world where we believe the Quartering didn't call in his favors, which I don't believe for a goddamn second because he is a slimy, scuzzy person. Even if we were to believe that, when you are a big enough streamer, and I do also maintain that a lot of his audience is inflated at this point, but that's another side note. When you are speaking to any kind of audience whatsoever, any kind of loyal audience, and you basically give them the step-by-step guide to getting channels that you're having beef with taken down, you're participating in the flagging, even if you're not the one doing the flagging, which again, I don't believe he didn't do.
Okay,
But
he admitted. So he's said that he did it. So regardless of the fact,
and it is girl
there's this
drama
one
because Quartering
person,
is a fucking bitch.
yeah.
But anyway, I'm sorry. What?
And then you were on the Simpcast yesterday with Chrissy.
Well,
Mayer.
okay. So I want to clear this up too because this was a rumor that got started. A lot of people thought I was like unknowingly on there. She just had me on there for buffer, whatever the hell. I just want to clear up right now. Chrissy Mayer is a friend. She's always been a friend. She's been nothing but a good friend. And I pay really close attention to this Kino Casino stuff because it's just something that I follow. I love their channel. I love the gimmicks. I think they're really entertaining. And I think they cover stuff that is interesting. And I'd already not liked the Quartering. I already had my own interactions with the Quartering that we could talk about later if you want. But when they started covering Quartering, I was all over the story. I was following it just as a personal viewer. I wasn't even really talking about it on the online space. But then I saw that Melanie Mack was getting Chrissy Mayer kind of swooped in on it. And again, Chrissy did not do everything correctly. She did have some missteps. And, you know, but I maintain that it wasn't a malicious thing on Chrissy's part, and it was a malicious thing on Melanie's part. And when I saw that start to happen, I reached out to Chrissy either yesterday it wasn't yesterday. It was a day or two ago. And I said, can I come on the stream?
So just for clarity, Melanie Mack does work in some capacity with the Quartering, correct?
she gets her page a lot of, I mean, like, I'm sure she gets super chats and all that other stuff on her own, but like she does like get paid to do a stream with the quartering.
Okay.
By the quartering.
So, and then I'm just trying to understand this. So, Chrissy had Melanie Mack on, and
so a couple days ago she had Melanie Mack on,
and she and they were talking about this issue with the quartering, and
they weren't even okay. So this is where you have to suspend some disbelief a little bit, and I admit that as somebody who is also like advocating for Chrissy to a large extent. But basically, so this drama has been going on for weeks. Like weeks and weeks and weeks. People have been on all over the quartering. He keeps saying, oh, it's going away, it's going away. It's not going away. He looks worse and worse the longer this goes on. He keeps going on these drunken ramblings and digging himself a deeper hole. Melanie Mack's covering for him. And while you don't necessarily need to talk about every single thing, a person on your network does, people were, I believe, rightfully so, like wondering like why she's not at least saying something against the anti-free speech angle. But regardless of that, Chrissy didn't have anything to do with it directly until Melanie was going to go on her stream. And like Chrissy had been informed, and this had been on a bunch of live streams, but like, again, a lot of the criticism was that Chrissy should have done more research on it before she had Melanie on. I do believe when she says that she didn't know that there was a connection, that she didn't know how heavy the connection was between what Melanie was doing and what was happening. So she had Melanie on, and the chat freaking roasted her. The chat went insane, and Melanie sat there smugly saying nothing, letting her friend take all the bullets for her. When she knew damn well that this was going to follow her into the chat. She didn't warn her. There was just a really shitty move on her part.
Okay, so then yesterday I shared your stream, right? Mm-hmm. And because of that share, I got a lot of the comments because people on my channel were commenting on it, and I'm like, they're talking about the drama and yada yada yada.
Right.
And this, look, I understand loyalty. I think there's a lot of people that I know that understand loyalty very well. And look, I expect Melanie Mack to cover for like her friend, right? Because they're friends. But then what ends up happening is Chrissy brings Melanie on to talk about something else and gets roasted in the comments.
And where's Melanie Mack defending her friend there?
Well, that's a question because I didn't watch the stream. And then Chrissy, look, I've done this before where I've interviewed somebody that I had absolutely no idea who they were, and I get roasted in the comment. Oh, why would you give this guy a platform? Yada yada yada. I get it a lot from Patty for having Patty on. Am I pointing the right way?
Yeah, you're pointing the right way.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure my camera was. I get a lot of shit, and I'm like I don't care about it. I don't. Oh, why do you keep platforming a fucking leftist?
But here's the thing: care. Like nobody was mad at her for platforming Melanie. I get
the platforming, but I don't prepare. I'm like, hey, look, what's your story? Let me ask you these questions, and I try to get like I don't prepare. Right, for a pod. I don't call the person before and it's like, oh, what's your issue? What's your beefs? I basically give them that interview, the interview that you're supposed to have before a podcast. I do that shit live. I do it right here. So I want to sit down with a person that other people don't know, and I want to understand them from that perspective. If he's bullshitting me, then later on I'll address it. Or maybe if I see a comment, I'm like, hey, this person's calling you this or said this. And I go ahead. So look.
Yeah, but you respect the chat too. Like if the chat's flooding you and saying, Enrique, there's a thing going on, the last thing you ever do is ignore the chat.
Yeah, of course. Especially if it's scrolling like a fucking treadmill. So then, and here's where the fucking drama comes in. So you have this podcast yesterday. And then when I open it, because I keep seeing fucking crazy comments, I open it, I see Brittany Venti in there, and then it becomes like a cat fight between these two. I honestly turned it off because I had other shit to do.
It was very female coded. That's not like I'm not at all denying that.
So let's talk about the characters. So what is because he deleted his, because I was looking up his tweets. He deleted his Twitter account.
Right.
What is it that he did that's so crazy that made him fucking delete his Twitter?
Well, I mean, there's so much backlash happening against him. I know, like, a lot of his like old videos have come to light of him saying really creepy things and following women and kids around and saying really creepy things. And then, that like the idea that like, oh, well, he's a Christian now, so he's not like that anymore. When like 10 seconds ago, he was commenting on why he wouldn't fuck Melanie Mack because her tits are too small. Post conversion, it's
I,
like,
I remember seeing a clip of him and Melanie in like it looked like a convention setting where they had like a booth, and
are you talking about the football thing?
I don't know. There was just like some, I don't remember because it was a long time ago. He said some like creepy comment like there.
And see, that's the thing. Melanie Mack is like sweeping for this guy, and people are accusing me of sweeping for Chrissy. And like, the fact is, I've maintained the whole time, like, I don't think she handled it well.
I sweep for
But
Chrissy.
she didn't do it maliciously.
I sweep for Chrissy.
I'm not sweeping for, I'm not literally like trying to clean up after her. I think sweeping is a disingenuous term. I think I was just trying to give her an opportunity to explain her side of the story, because when you let this kind of thing go on for too long before coming in to say anything, the internet goes crazy with their assumptions, and they don't know what's going on entirely behind the scenes. So and I even said on the show, like, in appearances are truth in a lot of way when it comes to this. And even if you didn't intend to do a thing, if the result is what would have happened if you had anyway, you got to own that and you got to talk about that. And I was really adamant that she should try to have PPP on, because I also, like, I'm a Kino fan. Like, I knew if she let him come on and just share his side of the story then and there, she may have still taken some heat, but it wouldn't have been nearly as bad as like leaving him.
This quartering guy, that South Park meme with the fat guy on the fucking computer, right?
Yeah,
like that's what this guy is. He has said some creepy ass shit. And look, we live by clips, but like, and I try not to. But like every time I see a clip of this guy being like fucking some type of creep, like it gives me vibes where like you got to check this guy's phone. Like
yeah.
I feel like Alex Rosen should have to come in and sweep. If we're talking about
somebody
sweeping,
tag
sweep
I
his
Fight
phone.
for Kids, please.
Yeah. So yeah.
Well, then leave the chat, Reno. Jesus fuck. If I listen, if he's gonna bitch this whole time, it's gonna be really fucking annoying. Like, this is just what we're covering. You don't need to be here.
So, that was a long stream last night. I don't know if it fixed anything or made things worse and made people pick sides. I try not to make people pick sides. But for the most part, I've met him before, that quartering dude. I don't even know what his name is.
Jeremy Hambley.
Yeah.
Ham Planet.
At some type of event or some shit. And again, he just gives me the creepy vibes.
Because he is creepy. He's creepy, and he's image obsessed, and he's a narcissist, and he's also like obviously high on pills and drinking too much and saying shitty things and doing shitty things. And Melanie's, like I said, she was running interference for him. And, to a certain extent, what you're saying about like having loyalty to your friends is one thing, but like, he certainly doesn't have loyalty to her. He's talking about, well, literally, she's off on her honeymoon and he's back at home, like, well, she's got small tits.
Yeah, I wouldn't because she has small.
It's weird, bro. It's weird.
Listen, I love.
There's never a planet. I was telling Tim my husband this last night. There's never a planet where someone like tries to haggle you about like, oh, well, you just want to have sex with Kim. You would never in a million years be like making inappropriate comments about me when people say that shit. You'd be like, that's weird as fuck, and you'd move on.
Yeah,
because like you're not a fucking weirdo.
And here's look. I love Melanie. I only subscribe to like very few people on Twitter. She was one because I feel like her
we got beef now.
Her little faggot comments, right?
Yeah, it's cute.
We're a good gateway into what she's doing. She does like this Bible study, which is really cool. And she kind of like brought these people in and was like, haha, like come do Bible study with me. So I thought that was amazing.
Running around talking about fake Christians when you don't mention anything about your creepy ass fucking co-host is really hypocritical.
Look,
And what she did to Chrissy was wrong.
yeah. So, but yeah, okay. So last thoughts on this, because I really want to move on to this Nick Fuentes stuff.
Okay, well, I guess in summation, the whole thing was based off of something that was actually very serious. And the more people try to pass it off as like, oh, this is just bullshit drama. No, the root of this is people getting their livelihoods fucked with because Jeremy, the fat Hambly, got his fifis hurt on the internet. And then he started the tornado that dragged everybody around him into the problem. And then Melanie Mack, when she got involved in it, needed somebody else to take the heat off of her. So, like she's done many times before, she runs to Chrissy Mayer. And Chrissy, not connecting all the pieces that she should have or could have, you know, caused a lot of people to get angry with her about it. And instead of apologizing for not reading the chat, instead of apologizing for maybe, you know, like not maybe taking one side over the other when she should have heard everybody else's side out, she freaked out and she had a, you know, she was stressed by the chat on both occasions and it didn't go well. And it's gonna be bad for her because she didn't just like rip the band-aid off. And again, I wanted to be there to try to help facilitate that, and my advice on that wasn't listened to, and it wasn't anything personal, but I think it would have saved her a lot of grief, and I think it would have saved her getting hit a lot harder, which she is now.
Maybe I try to get Chrissy on the show, and maybe I try to
Please do. I'm trying to reach out to her again. Like, I genuinely don't believe that Chrissy has any bad intention in this. People were saying, oh, she's just grifting off the quartering. She wanted to get money from the quartering. She's never made, the truth is she never made money from the quartering. And the only like sponsorship that she had from him was when she did her content thing. And he sent her a bunch of coffee to like have at the content hotel.
Yeah.
So like, again, people who are like saying there's like money as the root of it, and there's like a lot of just like misinformation based around a very real truth that it didn't look good and she didn't necessarily handle it correctly, but I don't think that was rooted in malicious intent. So hopefully we can have maybe even Brittany and her on. Maybe we can do that. Anybody else who's like, you know, I did a shout out to D-Day Cobra and Camelot. Like, they're covering this really fairly, so maybe they'll have some stuff they want to say.
Yeah.
Hopefully she just does that on her own, though.
So, in the age of streaming, in the age of women streaming, also is become problematic because these dramas happen. So, on to our final story, which kind of has to do with what we started out with this Massie lead, because there's this big civil war within the conservative movement, this MAGA movement, on what the future of MAGA looks like. And I've written extensively about this a couple times. And within those factions, there's another mini civil war that's brewing and is at full steam right now. And it has to do with Nick Fuentes. So let's start with that. So Nick recently, there was this event called America First United. And as you know, and actually, let's do it. Fucking
Very creatively named.
very creatively named, right?
What the fuck is that? America First United. Sounds like Will Johnson came up with that shit. Like, come on, man.
So America First United was started by, I think, Amy Dangerfield. And it brought in a lot of these people that are in this America First movement, including a candidate for Ohio, Casey. Within that, the turnout was absolutely atrocious, even for such a small venue. To surprise to nobody, I mean, I think if Nick would have been there, they would have needed a bigger room. Because he does have a very, very, very loyal following. With good reason. The guy's super entertaining, super intelligent. And look, I think it's cringe already when, because I've said it a couple times, and I think you could only say it a couple times before it starts becoming redundant. Oh, I don't agree with Nick on this. I don't agree. Look, I don't have to fucking say that anymore. Because I don't agree with a lot of people. I don't agree with the president 100% of the time. I don't agree. When I was married, I didn't agree with my spouse all the time. That's just how it is, right?
He was an asshole in the first place, so come on, man.
Yeah, but he's a smart asshole, right?
I was not talking about Fuentes.
He was talking about your husband.
Oh,
Yeah,
Because Patty can't go 5 seconds without thinking about gay shit.
So this woman is. Let's talk about Amy Dangerfield for a second, because I just thought her tweet was just so outrageous, and I think she typed this up and didn't think about how it came off when she typed it. And I'm going to go ahead and put this up on the screen really quick. You could tell it's a slow news day here, because now we're just talking about people and like online beefs, because there's not a lot of news.
Dude, I mean, like, a lot of that other girl drama is girl drama, but it's going to be around for a minute. So,
of course.
Yeah.
So Amy Dangerfield, and she starts off. This is where it is. She starts off with the end of an era, right? So I'm going to go ahead and click on her thing. She has her little logo here, and she has a whopping 35,000 followers, right? Mm-hmm. And then in her original post, right, it's her and Nick Fuentes. The end of an era. The hubris in posting the end of an era when you are an absolute fucking nobody, posting a picture, right? Like people were going to see this and be like, oh my God, the end of an era was crazy. And then she says the quiet part out loud on the next one. If you genuinely believe a girl with 30,000 followers has the power, and the reason why that line is so funny is because she, even saying this, she assumes she has some power of some sort to sway the people, because this goes now into Dan Bilzerian's congressional race against Randy Fine. This district, if you've seen it on the map and you're Floridian, this is the Villages. Okay? Dan Bilzerian thinks that he's going to win a race that is based on the Villages, a group of retired older people, and he doesn't seem to be, and this is another portion of this conversation I want to talk, in tune. Like, this is like the most outrageous protest candidacy I've ever seen, right? Because he's positioning himself like he could actually fucking win this race. And there is no chance in the world that Dan Bilzerian is going to win this race. And then she continues to say, or even desire to orchestrate some grand political operation involving major figures and coordinated attack against Fuentes. You're giving me way too much credit. So let's go in here for a second. And she says it's the end of an era. And she keeps posting that shit against Fuentes. And the funniest part about this is on her profile picture, she has a Nick Fuentes America First hat on. But it doesn't end there. She's a foreigner from Australia involving herself in American politics. I don't know if her account was created there. She's Sarasota. Account based in the United States. But regardless, I invited some people to the event, including Nick, but honestly, thanks, I guess. And she's getting absolutely smoked 3 hours ago. Because she's simping for Dan Bilzerian.
Hey, look, there I am.
what the hell did I miss? And look, Jake, I know Jake personally. Cool dude in person. Very cool dude. That I'm not even going to front about. But all these people are people that just got here. And to assume that you can take what somebody built, it's like somebody trying to take the MAGA movement away from Donald Trump. It's stupid and ridiculous. You can't do it. You can't have MAGA without the Trump right now. Maybe after Trump's out, the standard bearer could take it. But
Nope.
I've written extensively about this on what the future of the conservative movement is. It's closer to Nick Fuentes than it is to Donald Trump. I see that across the country with young Republican clubs. And no single voice, somebody wrote here, no single voice speaks for the entire conservative movement, not even President Trump. It was here before him and will hang after he's gone. Stop fixating on one person. While I agree with...
You know why that's wrong? You know why that's completely ridiculous?
I don't think it's completely
because
ridiculous, but
it
yes,
is.
Go ahead, Patty.
No, because it's a cult of personality, right? So the reason that the Soviet Union didn't exist the same way it did after Stalin died is because he didn't pass the torch to anybody, right? He just died, right?
Yeah.
So there was no cult of Khrushchev, right? Because nobody gave a shit about him, right? What we're dealing with right now is a cult of personality. So when you say conservative, first of all, if you think Donald Trump's a conservative, you don't know what a conservative is, right? And I imagine that your aunt would say the exact same thing, Kim, and if she hasn't said it 1,000 times already. So he's not a conservative. He doesn't know what a conservative is. We've been over that. But if he doesn't decide to pass the torch to somebody who can carry a rally the way that he carries a rally, then MAGA is going to, because they have the attention span of a fucking 9-year-old, they're just going to stop voting. And that is the best case scenario for America, is that they all just fucking go away. But the worst case scenario is that he decides that, hey, I'm going to pass this on to somebody else, which he won't do because his ego will preclude him from doing that, right? Mm-hmm. So if he did, in the fantasy world in which he said, hey, I'm just going to pass it on and I hope this lives on after me, he would have to find somebody who could carry the room the way that he does, the way that Nick Fuentes carries the room, because I can tell you, me and Pickles went down and saw his second America First rally, and that kid, I'm telling you, as much as I disagree with everything that he says, damn, he's got charisma. He knows how to hold a room. He can hold attention. He can bring it up and take it down. That kid knows what the fuck he is doing. There's a reason that he's making all this money, right? Mm-hmm. But unless Trump finds somebody like that he can pass it on to and then is willing to pass it on, it's going to die. It's just going to peter out. Well, I don't know who that person would be, though. It's not Marco Rubio and it's not J.D. Vance. You got to find someone who's not a stiff. And I don't know who it is. Maybe you do, but I don't.
So I wrote about this. So movements have a shelf life, right? But something that remains, so the Trump legacy doesn't come in name MAGA movement. The legacy of Trump remains in the culture. He's shifted the culture completely in a good direction, in my opinion. Does he pass the torch? I don't know.
I don't think it's in him to do that, man.
Who's the next standard bearer? I don't know, because it'll how weird would a Trump rally be without Trump? Or
that's
Trump,
what I'm saying. I don't think
headliner.
that not unless he willingly passes it to somebody who can do what he does on stage. And I don't see. I mean, Marco Rubio can't do that. We all know he's embarrassing as a campainer.
Well, wait, hold on.
We all know that J.D. Vance is awkward, socially awkward.
No, I think. Weirdo. Look, I think look. There's generational people, right? So we have a generational governor in Ron DeSantis, right? All the candidates, whether it's Fishback, whether it's Byron Donalds, whether it's Jay Collins, right? All three of those are actually, I think, are good choices. I have not made my decision. I have not made my decision on who I'm going to vote for in the primary in Florida. But one thing I know, no matter what of those three candidates we're going to be choosing, they're not going to be a DeSantis. They're not going to be as effective as he is. He's socially awkward. He's actually, I saw reports that he's taking like social classes on how to be,
How to be a human.
how to be, yeah.
So crazy.
And that's why he's so effective, right? Like you got Elon Musk, right? Which is like this completely autistic guy, but he's a doer, right? He's known for doing things. So that's the same thing that I give DeSantis. Now with Trump, it's different because Trump is charismatic. He's an orator. He knows how to, like that same thing that you say with Nick Fuentes. He knows how to bring up a crowd, bring down a crowd. It's amazing to me. So I don't know who he passed the torch. Look, Marco's doing really good. I think JD is, obviously we're going to see some type of Rubio JD ticket coming in. I don't know who's going to lead that ticket, but I think it's a good ticket. You got somebody that's very eloquent. Establishment still trusts him, even though he's shifted enormously. And you have somebody that's, I think, an intellectual that knows how to carry a room, but none of them, we could agree that none of them have that charisma that the president has. But it doesn't matter because the culture has shifted. No, it doesn't. Because the culture has shifted so aggressively into a right-leaning direction. And that's why I agree with
MAGA's there for the entertainment. And if they don't get that, then they won't show up. I guarantee you. They will not show up unless they're being entertained. And JD Vance and Marco Rubio can't do that.
But here's the problem, Patty.
It could be somebody else, but I don't know who.
You got nobody on. It's not going to be anybody else. It's going to be one of those two.
That's it's a loser then. It's a loser.
But you guys on the left have no charisma. There is
Yeah,
nobody.
exactly. I was going to say, who are you going to expect the
charisma. What are you
charisma to
talking
come
about?
from? Fucking Kamala.
I got charisma.
And they're stupid enough. They're stupid enough to run Kamala again. They're stupid enough to get.
First of all, yes, they are stupid enough to do that, but I don't think they're going to do that.
They're stupid enough.
They have
to
it
get,
in them to be that dumb.
They're stupid enough to get Newsom in, and that's where I agree with the
Gavin
person
Newsom
commenting.
can win.
That's where
Newsom can win.
I agree with. It's weird that I can't see like their actual handle. I could only see their handle, but for the most part, that's where I agree that a movement is not beholden to one person. But when we're talking, let's get back on subject here with Nick Fuentes. This is his movement. This is his movement, and he has complete and total control of it. And these newcomers come in thinking that they can change, thinking like I've seen attacks on Nick Fuentes. I haven't seen an effective attack on Nick Fuentes. As a matter of fact, I've seen it strengthen his position. And this is one. Dan Bilzerian is a billionaire playboy that now his only position is anti-Israel, right? And while that might be like some of these new guys might see that as like just like the only thing, like a one issue thing for them, it doesn't work, right? Because there's no other substance. Nick brings other substance besides being anti-Israel. He has he's very versed in domestic policy. He's very versed in foreign policy. He knows how to argue. He argues this all the time. So I think that this was a bad move, and this is continuously going to be a bad move for everybody involved because Nick's army is pretty fucking strong. And we see it in the comment section.
I think though that it's an army. You're right. Like I mean, they really support him and everything that he talks about on his show, but that's not enough to swing an election. It's definitely not enough of a base to run on in a presidential election. In a really, really close race, might he have a little bit of an effect? Maybe. But I like I said, I think he's really impressive in what he can do, in within that movement. But it's not enough. It's not enough. I mean, once Trump's out of office, he's going to start making a lot less money, and he'll probably stop doing what he's doing.
I think that you're wrong.
I
because
may be, but
you're
I
looking
bet you $1.
you're looking at the effectiveness of Nick's influence in the upcoming elections, which I
No,
think
I'm
is
talking about after like Trump's gone. I'm
well,
talking about 10
well,
years from
even
now. You know what I mean?
well,
Like,
if we're talking about 10 years from now,
I don't think he'll even exist 10 years from now.
Nick's
I don't think anyone will talk about
hold
him
on,
10 years from
but Nick's influence
Someone
is
bookmark that.
yeah,
now. Yeah, I mean,
Nick's influence is and I'm seeing it. I wrote this article and I got so much hate for it. I'm seeing it in future conservative leadership, right? Whether it be, and I keep this is a recurring theme in this show, is I'm seeing it in the young Republicans. I'm seeing it in the college Republicans, where these are the people that are going to be the leaders of the conservative movement moving forward. And that influence turns into votes later.
yeah, you
And
know why that won't happen though? Because when those kids want to get jobs when they're in their, mid and late 20s, they're not going to ever want to admit that they said the N-word on a podcast, right? So his thing is going to go away because these guys are going to want to actually make money and raise families and buy houses. And they're not going to be able to do any of that. And hey, look, I'm not saying that I'm running society and saying they can't do that, but we all know that if you run a job application and somebody finds out that you were on Fuentes saying and this and then that, you're not getting hired, buddy.
yeah,
And
yeah,
you're going to
but
stop doing that. It's going to peter out. Man.
yeah, but that has nothing.
It has a glass ceiling, if you
That
will.
has like you put it in terms of
The
a job.
tolerance for that is also growing significantly.
Yeah, well that's one thing that's very true, but second, you're looking at it from a jobs perspective. I'm looking at it from a conservative leadership perspective, where at this point norms have been broken, right? And these people aren't looking for a job. They're canvassing. They're campaign managers. They're people that raise funds for candidates. They're candidates themselves. And we're seeing this across the country. Look,
We could be having the same conversation about Pat Buchanan in 1992. And I was right then, and I'll be right now.
but you're
Like, I
not
mean,
right
it's-
when it comes to Pat Buchanan. You're not right now. The reason why is Pat Buchanan's influence is in the Trump campaign right now. Right.
Well, it was
the things
latent. It was dormant, I should say, for like how many years?
exactly.
I mean, like
That's
so.
exactly my point.
You think that might happen again? It'll
We
be
read at every Proud Boy meet. We read out of Pat Buchanan's "The Death of the West."
That's
right.
You should not.
We read
advertise
off
that.
of it. No, and look, when we read from it, I don't know if you've heard the quote in the book that we read.
No.
And
I fucking hate Evie Mux, Enrique.
yeah.
She's still crying about tech.
Yeah.
And now I can't hear anyone. Okay. I'll be right back.
Okay. We read the part where it says, look, we know that America was built on slavery, right? And that the West didn't invent slavery, but it alone abolished slavery, right? So like those lines in the book, it's a very powerful book. I suggest everybody in the audience, in the viewership, you read it. It's an amazing book. It's about the death of the West. And we're seeing a lot of things that he wrote in 2000. We're seeing them now, right? We're seeing it when it comes to foreign policy in the Middle East. We're seeing it here domestically. We're seeing it with immigration policies. Patrick Buchanan was ahead of his time, right? And that influence stayed. So that's exactly what I'm telling you with Nick, is that influence on the youth, right, becomes the future of the Conservative Party. And we've seen this shift from the Ron Paul revolution to the Tea Party to the MAGA movement and to whatever it's called next. It might be America First, right? And then after America First, there might be some other movement, but it's always based on a movement. And the left hasn't had that in years. Since
I
Obama,
don't think it's based on a movement. I think it's based on a cult of personality. And if the personality goes away, then I think the cult goes away. So you're going to have to find
No, there's a ton of
No.
even in just the information space, there's a ton of people who will carry that torch on.
But
of
who
course.
is going to be the leader? I just don't see it, man. Like,
You're looking for
maybe there is
leader.
somebody, but I don't know who it is.
You're looking
You
for
know?
leaders while I'm looking at the culture of conservative politics in today's age.
I just really don't think in the conversations I've had, in the
Every
very heated conversations I've had with a lot of MAGA people over the last 8 years, I can tell you, if Trump goes away, I think that they don't give a shit anymore. I
Yeah,
just
but
think
like
they go away.
half of the MAGA movement now is saying that, well, like Trump abandoned us and he's not
No, but
encompassing what MAGA was founded around in the first place. So like a lot of people feel like they are still MAGA, but that they were betrayed by Trump in the MAGA movement because there's a lot of reasons, loyalty to Israel being one of them, which is why they now refer to like the OG. These guys refer to the original MAGA as MIGA because it's not.
Well, I think we
um,
should discuss something that's very important now because of the comments have gotten really, really unacceptable. Right Side Rebel, I don't know who that is. She decides to say, I don't know if it's a she or a he, decides to bang on my
You gotta get better
complexion today.
insults, Patty. That shit's getting
Bang on
old.
my complexion. Okay.
yeah.
I guess it is a woman because now I see the avatar there.
You know
but
who that is, you fucking retard.
I need some sun. Look, I live in New England and it's goddamn May, in the beginning of May. So give me some slack here, all right? Like there's
I
only
look
been
like I am
two
scurvy
sunny
because
days.
I don't go outside in New England.
So, Patty, humor me here because I'm
It's
going to ask
wrong.
you. Humor me here
Me.
because I'm going to ask you a bunch of leading questions.
Okay. Good.
Did the Ron Paul revolution in 2007, 2008 have an influence in MAGA, in the MAGA movement?
That's a good question. I think, I don't think so, because although I will tell you, I took a photo of a guy at the Richmond gun nut rally that we were both at in 2020. There was this dude holding up a Ron Paul portrait, like his congressional portrait, his official photo, and like a framed in the glass thing. And I stopped and asked him because he was standing right next to Alex. And I stopped him and I was like, dude, I took a photo of him. I was like, what's with the Ron Paul thing? And he's like, well, this is what this is all based on. And I said, okay. I hadn't heard somebody say that before, but I thought, okay, so maybe the Ron Paul libertarian stuff, it does have an influence on MAGA. But conversations after that, I didn't really hear anyone say that. So I think that it's
I'm standing
probably
here.
not. No, I think the answer
Those
is no.
guys don't want to talk to you, Patty?
I'm
Jeez.
standing here, Patty. I'm standing
No, they
here
did talk to me. They just didn't agree with it. But yeah.
as a person that got activated and radicalized by the Ron Paul revolution. Let's go on the next step of the evolution. And look, Thomas Massie, Rand Paul, and a couple of others, because there's big support for these people, does have an influence. So Ron Paul revolution did have an influence. There's people that came from that Ron Paul revolution and are in office now and have been in office sometimes.
Yeah, I just don't think it's
point.
massive. I think it does exist, but I don't think it's huge.
So how about the Tea Party movement? Did that have
I think the Tea
influence on
Party's
that?
got nothing to do with MAGA.
No?
Nothing at all. No.
No,
Ron
the
Paul
Secretary
would
of
have way
State-
more to do with it.
The Secretary of State of the United
know.
States didn't
Yeah.
get elected because of the Tea Party movement.
No, the Secretary of State of the United States, when he was running for president in 2016,
No. When he ran for Senate,
accurately described Donald Trump as not a conservative. I don't think that Marco Rubio believes in any way that Donald Trump is a conservative.
you're proving my point. So he's converted now, but
No, he's not converted. He's just lying through his teeth.
Okay.
Is what he's doing.
Oh my
Okay.
God, Patty.
Okay. So
Change the station already.
So
You asked me a question, I answered it.
So you can say. So then let's move into more modern times. So there's this big push that's not pro-Israel, I'd say, right? And it's more prominently shown now on the right. Nick Fuentes had nothing to do with that.
You mean Nick Fuentes had nothing to do with? Say again.
With the
I was reading the
conservative,
comments, honestly.
with right wingers right now not being pro-Israel. Does Nick Fuentes not have an influence there?
Oh, I think he definitely has an influence there. Definitely.
Do you think?
And
that
I think I happen to this is kind of a touchy thing because I'm going to say something that some people are going to, well, everyone's going to get mad. But I really do believe when Nick Fuentes and Tucker Carlson and some people who I really detest say that Benjamin Netanyahu is running our foreign policy, they're right. I mean, they happen to be correct about that.
So
now,
Nick
then
has
they
had
go
influence
too
on
far
you
and
there.
say the Jews run everything and all this shit, and then I have to jump off the bus. But yeah, no,
Please
I
jump
think
off the bus.
I'm going to run you over with the bus.
So do you think, so based on what I say, do you think the future of both the conservative party and the left 10 years from now is going to be more pro-Israel or less pro-Israel or anti-Israel? Like, where do you see we fall?
right.
And the reason why I bring that up, because it's Nick's main concern.
I understand. So I reject the whole term pro-Israel because that assumes that people like to make an argument that, well, if you don't support everything the Israeli government is doing right now, you're anti-Israel. You don't think they should exist. No. I think the Israeli government should be judged just like every other government in the world. If you do shitty things, I'm going to call you an asshole, right? So when the Israeli government commits a genocide, I get to say they committed a genocide without saying that they don't have a right to exist or defend themselves. That's just ridiculous and silly.
Patty, but answer my question. 10 years from now are both
No, the
parties-
left and the right will both have the same opinion they have right now, which is that you're not allowed to criticize the Israeli government, except then you will be called an anti-Semite. That'll always be the way it is. It's just always.
But is it more acceptable now than it was before?
No, it's the same as it was in
It
1960.
absolutely is more acceptable now than it was before. Get out of here.
Course.
Yes, it is.
You're hearing it.
More
watching
mainstream
it.
people are talking about our unnecessary alliances to Israel than ever before. You're full of shit. You don't know what you're talking about yet again.
What I'm saying is there is no politician who's going to get elected to major office in this country who's going to be able to say, hey, I think the Israeli government is completely wrong here and we're not supporting what they're doing. That's never going to happen.
Back.
Both the left and the right. He's never going to get elected to anything.
I don't think he's going to.
He's going to lose.
But hold on, you don't even got to do that now. You don't got to do that now. Thomas Massie.
Yeah, and Massie can't be a senator and he can't be president. You know what I mean? Like, this is the way it's going to be. And anybody who stands up and says the Israeli government is wrong on any one issue will not be elected president. They just won't. It's not going to happen.
Wait. Now you're changing. Now you're changing the measuring stick here. I'm not saying elected officials. I am saying the general voting populace will be more or less pro-Israel in 10 years.
I don't think anything will change. Nothing will change ever. Nothing. We're gonna be watching the same movie for the next 50 years.
Is America today? I'm gonna ask this again, just in a more pointed way. Is America today more pro-Israel or anti-Israel than it was in 2016?
You better answer this honestly.
Nothing has changed.
Nothing
has changed.
I already know what I'm dealing with here. Just
Patty.
No, because
you're either not paying
attention
or you're lying.
I'm not anti-Israel, right? Let's just start with that. I'm just saying the culture.
Again, that's a stupid term. Anti-pro. I don't even know.
No, it's not a stupid term. It's an actual term. And Kim just keeps popping in and out. And we're going to start wrapping up here in a second. But regardless of the fact, listen, Patty, it's not accurate to say that it's not a norm now to be able to say these things. And if that's going to continue to shift, and I think that you're going to see elected officials mirror the citizens when it comes to Israel. I think you're just going to see it. I think it's nonstop. And I don't think it's genuine of you, because I think you do believe this. I don't think it's genuine of you to think that we're going to be in the same position that we are now.
You don't think that I mean what I say when I say that?
Not that one. I do not.
Really?
That one. Yeah. That.
You think I'm lying? You're calling me a liar.
No. Yeah. Fine. I'll call you a liar. I'm just saying.
Jeez.
I don't think. I think you're.
You've
just
not
trying to be-
observed that Americans are more willing to at least have the conversation about uh, Israel influence, and they're more open to being anti-Israel. You really don't see that in the culture. You're Mr.
No.
Patty blind face. I can't fucking notice the environment of the fucking culture around me.
Absolutely nothing is going to change on this issue.
It has
for as
changed. It
long
already
as
has
we
been changing,
are
Patty. What you're
alive.
saying is nonsense.
We are going to continue to carry out Israel's foreign policy demands.
That
no
doesn't
matter
mean the
who is in
American
the
people
White House.
aren't more anti-Israel now than they were in
Well,
2016.
What does it matter then if we're just going to keep doing the
well,
same
now you're saying
thing?
now you went
Who
from
gives
it's
a
not
shit?
true to what does it matter even if it is true?
No,
You
I'm
can't-
saying it is true and it doesn't matter. Like they're both of those things are true.
It does matter.
We are going to
it does matter.
seriously. We're going to continue to bow to AIPAC and to do whatever they want for the rest of your, my, and Enrique's natural lives.
I don't
That's
think
just
so.
what's going to happen.
I don't think so.
Well,
I think
you know
people
what?
are going to get tired of it, and I think at some point we're going to have enough elected officials that take a stance that you personally take. That you're like, look, I'm not anti-Israel, but they're controlling our foreign policy, and I think more people are waking up to that. And again, we're focused on
Yeah,
the
but I
Israel
don't
thing
think
because
that
we're
more
talking
people are
about Nick
waking up to
Fuentes.
that.
I
That's
think
the problem. I don't think anyone of any consequence who would agree with me can get elected to anything important because they can't say what I just
Congressman's
said.
not important.
Yeah, I mean, a couple of congressmen are important. You can get AOC in there. You can get Massie in there. There are people, but you're not going to get nobody who chairs the Senate Foreign Relations Committee or ends up as president or vice president is going to be able to say any of the stuff that I think we all agree on. Right.
I mean,
now,
JD Vance.
and get elected.
JD Vance has privately said, like the influence is waning.
Privately said. Well,
And
I'm very
here's
proud of
another
him.
thing: a person, and there's a lot of people pissed off about it. Joe Kent, right?
Yeah.
He had a very high position within the administration, not elected, but for the most part, we saw what happened to him, and we saw his position on it. And there's a lot of people within the administration that feel the same way.
Are you looking at Barry's comments here? Because he says that I beg for change at a fishing pier. I have bad breath, and I don't even know what that last one is. But yeah, he's Barry's really digging deep today.
Yeah, very intellectual.
He looks homeless. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I'm inside a house.
Let's start wrapping up. We're at an hour and 24 minutes. We're 24 minutes over for being a show that we talked about people. This actually ran a long time. But Patty, you have anything coming up?
So we're gonna post some more food videos with Bobby, which I think the kids are gonna like. You can check out some weird concoctions from Rhode Island and Massachusetts. That's about it. Yeah, I don't have a whole lot.
Kim, you got anything coming up?
Oh boy.
Oh, we can't hear you.
Yeah.
I just relaunched my my website as a blog site for news and politics, culture, and internet drama. So there's going to be a bunch dropping today. I'm dropping a summary on the quartering. I'm going to be covering Keno Casino. I'm going to do some more specific synopsis of what happened on Simpcast. And there's a lot of other just like political news and stuff like that. But that's all going up today. Follow that over. The website is leftover.news. If you want to contribute or send in tips, there's a contact page that goes directly to me. Thank you to everybody who's been sharing that so far. It's like, I'm really honestly kind of awestruck and taken aback and very grateful to the amount of people who have been supporting already and submitting articles. So know that I took Mother's Day off. Today there's going to be a bunch of stuff going up, and the stream will resume more consistently once I've given birth, but I I have been working on a few videos in the background. It's just harder for me to commit time to editing. My producer's not as available as he once was, and me doing it all myself takes a lot more time. But Warpaint is still very much around and still very much the best shop over at 1776.shop. Make sure you're visiting the only most offensive shop on 1776, which is, of course, Warpaint. And again, visit leftover.news as the day progresses for more from, all sorts of updates.
All right.
Hey, Kim, I just wanted to say sincerely, no bullshit, but I just wanted you to know that.
Oh, here we go.
Oh no! He was gonna say something nice to me.
I didn't kick him out. He left. That's his gimmick. Okay, so please look, guys. I put together 13 composition books while I was in prison. I'm putting it together for a memoir, and you can go to tariobook.com. That is tariobook.com right down here, and pre-order it. We should have it out by the fall. There's signed copies and things like that. And if you're watching the show and you buy a copy right now, today, by midnight, and send me a screenshot of that purchase, I will sign and personalize that book for you. All you have to do is go to tariobook.com, go ahead and purchase, and send me a DM with that screenshot, and I will put that in the record, and we'll sign and send it to you guys with no extra charge.
Bring back Patty. Bring back Patty.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Another thing, and then this is inside, not insider. I'll just put a little bit of pressure here to the person that's working on the website. We're working on reskinning the website and putting our shows back up.
I'm working on it.
We will have a new URL soon. It'll have a couple of other additional features on there where you can catch our show, buy some merchandise, and support your favorite War Boys hosts on there. And I think that there's going to be another surprise on there that I am working on the back end. So please go to 1776.shop to support all our War Boys hosts, and each one of us has our own section. My section is the 1776 official. You can find Kim's at Warpaint. You can find Barry's at the American Rise. So please help us out financially. We don't ask you guys for much. We don't have subscribers. We don't have sponsors, none of that. We run this out of the pure passion that we have for making America great again and putting America first. You are not going to make me choose between one movement or the other. I love both. Thank you guys for watching. Let me check these last things. And somebody said accurately that it was an Irish goodbye by Patty. So thank you guys for.
Now I want to know what the hell he had to say, though.
He didn't have anything to say. He was just being a dick. All
What
right,
a dick.
And with that, we sign off. Later, guys.
Load up on guns and bring your friends. It's fun to lose and to pretend she's overboard and self-assured. Oh no, I know a dirty word. Hello.
Peter said Ethan Nordine was the undisputed leader of the group that day as they tried to prevent the peaceful transfer of power.
An FBI agents arrested Proud Boys former national chairman Enrique Tarrio at this home in Miami. By 2 this afternoon, he was in federal court.
Here we are